I believe even if you look around, I can find 10 times as many male business coaches or male coaches or instructors who will help men and women to make more money than I can male relationship coaches, male marriage coaches, and things of that nature, right? So you see where I'm going with this? The men are pushing how to get more money, get money. Like they're pushing how to build wealth. And there's nothing against that. Provide and protect. I understand the role. However, if you all are putting your energy into financial building activities, money making activities, and it seems like it's anchored in the money, why are you so mad when the ladies look to you for the money? That's where you put your energy anyway.
So you mean to tell me that you'll get your hair done, your nails done, and your makeup done, but then you won't do anything to help you?
Girl, that math ain't matching.
No. So when is it going to be the time that we stop working on the outer things and start figuring out the inner things?
Girl, I think the time is now. And so for you, I'd encourage you to strut over, slide over, get on through, getandstaymarried.com. Because what we have for you is not just this great conversation like we're having today.
Yes.
But it's an entire community to help you know and love yourself, but focus on what we put in and what we put on. So all our clients have a personal stylist, a year with a finance coach, a flexibility coach, a sex educator, because there's a lot of people having sex,
but they not good at it.
Oh, don't let that be you. So go ahead, sis, slide on through, getandstaymarried.com. But for now, back to the show.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Romance and Real Estate, where we
help you level up in life, love, and money.
All right, they wildin'. Ignore them. Focus right here. All right, so check this out, man. Let's get the church announcements out the way. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment. You know, if you don't agree, we want to hear your opinion. We want to hear your perspective. If you do agree, like, you know what I'm saying, make sure to share it with others. Tell a friend to, you know, tap in, man. It's going down. Now, today, you had a specific subject that you wanted to cover.
Yes, I wanted to ask you specifically, what insight would you provide to someone if you had a young man contact you, reaching out, saying, "Hey, you know, I know you're the free rental property guy. I'm about to invest in this property," and you like, "All right." Well, I would imagine. Well, what would you say if he was just like, "I'm about to invest in this property"?
If you know, so first and foremost, I would ask for, do you have your numbers? So what's the after repair value of the property? One, what's the asking price of the property? And then have you visited the property or got some boots on the ground? If you're, you know, investing out of state, you have some boots on the ground that took some pictures, some current pictures of the property and or some videos, therefore that, you know, you could go see your repairs.
Okay.
And so those KPIs are the most important numbers in evaluating a deal before you actually go like take any action.
All right, but what if he says something to the tune of, "Well, not this property in particular, but you know, I got other properties. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. So I have other properties and I did all that then. So I'm just going to get this one because this is a lick. I got to go ahead and run the play."
I would still emphasize that you do your research and actually make sure that you have done your due diligence by having the after repair value, the asking price, understanding the repairs, and you know how much out of pocket you may have to come out for the loan. Therefore, that you don't turn around and be upside down because you didn't do your work.
I mean, I feel you, but you know, my grandma told me, the best experience is personal experience, and I'm telling you, I've experienced this before. I've done this before, so. You talking about research and stuff. I don't need to read what nobody else say. I've done this, and my people, we all got properties. We talk about this. We be hitting it up. And this one right here, I got to move on. See, by the time I do all that, I could just do this because everything that I read ain't even really going to apply. But I know this right here, this is for me.
Yes, but everybody's quality, everybody defines great with a different number. So your great may be an 8 to me because you haven't experienced the state that I've had.
Yes.
Therefore, you're measuring my grade or my standard of quality based on your experience. But if your experience is not to the level of my experience, I may be short, cutting myself short by not doing my own work and just taking your advice and what you're giving me. And so I wouldn't recommend that.
You would.
I would always take it through the same filter system each and every time. Therefore, it's at my standard versus at the risk of it being at anybody else's that could be lower. Because at the end of the day, somebody, there's a lot of people that like Texas Roadhouse steak because they've never experienced a better steak.
Right.
And so like, if you never experienced that, then you may not know, and that might not be what I like anymore.
Right.
Or that may just, it just doesn't qualify for me.
Okay. So I would take it from what you're sharing that you recommend researching before you just jump in, especially if it's something that's serious.
100%. Like you can lose your ass on the property.
Right. And you want to be informed, and that's why you want to do the research.
So if you were to move forward, you always get title insurance.
Yes.
I don't ever buy properties quick deed. I let the title company insure the transaction.
Yes.
Therefore, that they've done their research. Therefore, it doesn't come back with baggage or other liens that I didn't know of.
Right. You made
liens stay with the property. They don't leave with the person.
That's right.
Therefore, I would ensure that I would always take it to a title company or a real estate lawyer to ensure that it's clear.
And though you may not have experienced that personally through your research and expanded awareness and understanding, that's when you adopted that practice that, hey, I don't want to have to endure that. Or did you?
So I'm going to tell you about a current example that I currently got going on right now.
Okay.
Visualize it. You got you got property A
I got it.
and property C. The land in between them is what we're going to call B. So I knew the owner of property A and C. I told him, hey, will you sell this land to me? And so he sold the land to me for $12,000. We went and I did it myself. I went and got the survey. To get some land surveyed means to put stakes down and define the area of land that you're purchasing. And so if I'm purchasing, hey, this land in between is 40 by 135, boom. That is then what we went to the city to go get a plat made. Plat means basically that area of land defined. And then you go get a parcel number. When it has a parcel number, now you can go get an address.
Right.
So we did all that. I did all that. And I turned it into title. Title verifies it that it is a plat, a parcel, and got everything. Now, this happened in March of 2020. He had a partner. He came to closing and closed. And so I now own what is newly established as B. All right. So now that I have that, pandemic came, I didn't do too much with it. But now I'm in a position where I want to take action and do some work with the land. But in our contract, there was a part of A's garage in my land. And in the purchase agreement, it was stated that he must tear down the garage in order for me to, move forward. Well, he didn't tear it down. And I called him recently and was like, yo, I need you to tear down this garage. He went over there and bulldozed the garage. Once he bulldozed it, he realized there was stuff in it. About 2 hours later, the owner comes, the new owner, not his old partner, the new owner, because the old partner and him foreclosed on the properties. Therefore, this has been foreclosed on and resold. When it was resold as A and C. There's no existence of B. I go to pay taxes and I'm like, hey, I haven't paid taxes on this property. Can you check this? Because basically here after 2 years, then it goes to sale.
Right.
So I was like, I just need to take care of it. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pennies. It's like, I don't see it. I'm like, here, I give them my deed.
Yes.
And everything else.
To the property.
All right. So understand this 2 years later. There's $400,000 houses over there. It used to be the trap.
Right.
So that land would technically be worth about 20% of that, so about $75,000.
And you made 12.
Right.
I'm watching the numbers.
So The gentleman that tore down the garage, lesson, if you tear down or do demo on a physical property, you must have permits in order to take it down. If you don't have permits, it's vandalism.
That's right.
He thought he was protected by my purchase agreement, but my purchase agreement only gave him 30 days to do so.
Oh, boy.
He had 30 days after closing to do it. So he's thinking because the purchase agreement says that it wasn't going to be there anyway, that he's okay. But it's owned under a different real estate, and the city doesn't recognize that as being my land.
Right.
Because I think it wasn't recorded. So haven't heard from the title company, called them a couple times. I get the research piece. I get this excuse. So on Thursday, I literally said, hey, I keep getting a runaround. So if I don't get answers by tomorrow, you will hear from my attorney. And so I got the answers.
Funny how that works.
So the answer was, hey, we're going to the city today. We don't hear anything back or have an answer. We're going to have to file a claim, which I knew that you didn't record it. Therefore, if you didn't record it, there's no record of this transaction. They didn't want to pull an insurance claim, because when you have to pull an insurance claim, it goes on your record as a strike that you have to use. And so and that hurts the company. So I knew that they were playing around with it, because they were always like, we're just trying to figure things out. But you're asking questions, but you're not answering questions, because nobody wants to take fault.
Right. Yeah.
And so long story short, I went to everybody. I went to the seller. I mean, the buyer that currently owns it. I own it because I have the first deed.
Right.
He owns it currently based because it's written like that.
Right.
You know
because the sale of B, which didn't exist, was not recorded. So when he obtained C, currently C
and A
on documentation has a portion of B.
But the first deed has the first right.
Correct.
So, I knew that I'm good.
Right.
But so I let him know, hey, bro, like, you're going to have to deal with the title companies and go from there. I told the dude that did the garage, like, you may be aware that he's going to come after you, because technically, had you pulled the permit, they would have declined your permit because you're not the owner.
And it was after the 30 days anyway.
So I say that to say,
do your research, homie.
Do your research. Have a title company to do this for you. Pay the extra $1,000, $1,500, therefore that you're protected. Because I could have lost the land and everything else. Had it been a large investment of $100,000 for land today, I would have lost it had I not had a deed that secured it. So I say that to say that he asked, what would I like? I said, today's price ain't 2020's price.
Right.
So not only do we have that, we have the time. I've initiated this to September 15th. So the liquidated damages that you will have after 30 days. Because legally, when you give somebody notice, they got to have enough time to make due diligence. So they have up to the 15th to insure, pay out, or pay the payout and pay whatever, because I can't make a move on the property and make the profits I could make because you're hindering.
Yeah, so you're going to pay for my loss.
So that was a lot.
It sounds like you got to do your research.
So I just wanted to clarify. Would you say that if you don't do your research,
it's going to cost
you may
you.
have to pay for the loss?
Yes.
Woo! If you don't do your research. Say it again, Erica.
If you don't do your research, you may have to pay for the loss.
You will in 99% of cases in real estate.
99.
Yeah.
Feel that.
Yeah.
You saying it
that's
with
a
strong.
that's an A+.
It's too much stuff behind the walls.
Mike, you agree with that? You don't do research, you gonna pay for the law?
100%.
100. Strong 100.
Yeah.
He got Jesus on his side. He said 100%.
It's always interesting when we have these conversations. I see you just did like that. Did the spirit just alert you that the pivot is coming? The pivot is coming. I find it so intriguing that we can say it with our chest. 100% do your research.
Yes.
Because otherwise you'll suffer a loss. Anything you're going to do long term and commit to, do your research.
Facts.
I'm not going to ask you personally. I'm just going to say in general. How much research do you think the average man does about relationships and how to actually sustain a relationship with a woman? How much research? How many
So when you
books?
say, how do you want it measured?
Not reinsert.
Right.
How much research? Not what you know from past experience. Not what your family and friends do.
Yes.
Not what's in your social circle.
Mm-hmm.
No. Research, meaning learning from someone or something else outside of you, such that you might not endure the impacts of situations that you're not aware of. You know.
The average man.
I'm going to add in one word. When we're doing reputable.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure it's just not, little Pookie them that's been married 3 times.
Double blind, triple study, let's go.
So I would guesstimate that single men under 40,
Okay.
How much research do you think they do?
not even 10%. That means that I don't even believe that 1 in 10 get counseling or do like pre-marriage stuff. I that would be my guess. I don't think that they no.
Yeah.
I don't think that 10%.
So in an earlier episode, we kind of scratched the surface about the intersection between wealth building and investing in and understanding and building a legacy in your relationship, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to business, even you 100% hardcore, like, do your research, full 99%, 100%. But then when it's, okay, well, what about relationships? You're not doing no research there, but with this person, you going to make children? Or with this person, you going to marry for life? That's a large investment. That's more than any property. That's till you die.
Lifetime.
Like death. Like, with 0 to 10% of research?
Just let me pause you there. I'm going to speak from my perspective.
Okay. Where else you going to speak from?
I don't think that I don't want to misrepresent men. I'm just speaking from my angle.
Okay. I'm
not speaking for all men.
Got it.
But from my perspective, I feel that a lot of men don't look at marriage like it's going to last the whole time. Like, you know what I'm saying? So what I mean by that is when they're meeting somebody or they're dating in their dating phase and getting to know people or whatever, I feel like a lot of men don't go out with that purpose. It means a soulmate. I feel like they go out on a mission to catch ass. Therefore, as we date and go through it, I feel that we don't take time to understand the person until we've already had relations and we're a little bit deeper. Deeper don't got to be too far, right? Let's just say 3 months, and you spend a night with each other here and there, that type of deal, just to kind of like illustrate where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
So, but even then, I feel that people in our African American culture get counseling when shit's bad. I don't think they do it in the preparatory stage of research. I think we do it in a stage of failure or misdirection, meaning we're lost. We too caught up in a toxic thing, but we know that shit's not okay. I'm not okay, and I could testify for that. I feel like this motherfucker got me all the way fucked up. I need help. And I went to people, said the same thing.
Gotcha.
It only happened once, but but it was bad though. It fucked up my whole aura.
So it's reactive and not proactive.
100%.
Right. All right. Understanding that. So with you, especially helping so many and heralding so many, mostly men, but though I know you do have female clients as well, but a lot of men flock to you for your insight and guidance.
It's actually 50-50.
Is it 50?
Yes.
Is it now?
What's up?
Yeah, yes.
All right. Okay.
There's a lot of women getting in.
All right. Okay. You said in the early episode it was mostly men. So look at you.
Yep, it's been 50-50 here.
Little men's real estate. They come in.
Look, they was like, we seen you.
So
we know you a little toxic, but we know you got the bag.
Could we? I know I'm on shallow ice here. Could we then consider saying it's irresponsible
Yes.
to help? I'm going somewhere. To help guide men into making so much money without helping them to understand the importance of protecting that money when it is earned, and how we have so much data here of how these relationships can drip, drip, drip your money right down the drain that you've worked so hard to earn. But because either you're going into it without long-term intention, as you said, but you do a long-term intentional type thing.
Facts.
Or you are going into it with long-term intention, but you're not prepared. So either way, you risking your money.
I don't think a lot of men think like that because we're in the now. So when I was single, I was just literally used to be like, this dating life cost me like damn near like $1,500 a month easy. I was just like, I'm spending $300 on 2 dinners a week, easy. So I agree with you. I say what I'm saying to not rebuttal, but to just say that when you in it, like if you got it or whatever, I feel like it's just like Erica said again, just having fun with it. And I think that when somebody catch you with a hook, it's too late by the time you recognize that you needed all of this. So I just to be transparent, I asked Mike about his counselor or whatever, just because I was dealing with a situation and I know I wasn't prepared. So I was just like, okay, like, so we've done different things, but like, I just, I was aware of it, but I was aware because I then got uppercutted before and fell in the wrong hole. So
isn't it intriguing though, that when we were talking about business and money, you were not just in the now. You were not just in the now. You were prepared. You knew that bulldozer had no business running over that garage. Why? Because you had looked ahead before and there was a clause in the contract. You knew what that clause in the contract was. You knew that there was 30 days. You knew that if they didn't do this, you could do that. You knew it had been 2 years. You hadn't paid. There was a whole lot of pre-planning and forecasting for your money.
So I could say that I've been guilty of both. I won't be up here and act like I ain't never like failed business wise. So the reason I started investing into real estate is because I was probably about 33, 34, but a lot of my homeboys is coming back home from hooping or whatever sport they was playing, and they coming back broke. And not broke in the sense of no money, but not living right? And so I always looked at her hair company being very successful at the time, like extremely successful, making the Inc. 500 list and things of that nature. And just like, I knew that this wouldn't last for forever. So let me invest in a safer asset that's not as volatile, and that, therefore, I'm buying earrings, Benzes, and stupid stuff like that wouldn't get me all caught up. So
something more enduring.
And so like that's where I did that because I've made money before, not millions, but hundreds of thousands. And ended up broke to where I was hustling, and that's how I ended up in a robbery in 2008. So like
a robbery.
I done been in some things. You know what I'm saying?
So you use the word you said would you say valuable? I think you said valuable.
Referring to
the investment that you. So would it be safe to say that you wouldn't be interested in doing research unless you deemed the project or the transaction to be valuable?
Definitely. I mean, I won't know. Every transaction that comes across the board, I evaluate it. I just don't take every one because it don't meet my standard. Like I need to make $40,000 a flip, or I ain't doing it.
So are you evaluating it in the now?
Because again, you ride past a shack, and immediately you're like, that's of no interest to me. I wouldn't even want to do research on
that.
But
I have like, I guess, I'm gonna say this in a funny way, but I guess I got like the numbers in my head. So neighborhood, ass, house, trash, like, crime, crazy. No go, just keep rolling.
Yeah.
So I don't have to even know the numbers, but because I look at certain parameters that let me know that house doesn't fit in my portfolio. So, but if I'm in a neighborhood where, okay, school district is a B, crime is average, the house could potentially be worth this. There's possible appreciation that you can get on the house. Yeah, let's dive into more numbers.
Yeah.
So we take it to a different layer of research. Now we're looking at the numbers hard and going at it.
Yeah.
And that's just to let you know that there's a no-go. There's it's good, it's terrible, good. There's difference in good and great. Then there's that one where, oh my God, that's the ugliest house on the block. It's $1 million houses.
That's it.
That's a green light. You know what I mean? So that's a little different.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
But what point y'all trying to drive though?
Well, this was what my mind went back to. There was a particular coach. I can't remember who it was because it was a conversation that I had a while ago. But he brought in a young lady that was known for trapping men that have money. And he had her talk to his team and say, this is what's out here. And
please pause. It was Brittany.
Was it Brittany?
Yeah. Deion Sanders brought her out.
Yes.
Same chick from the video.
I heard about it and I was thinking to myself, he saw these players as valuable. He saw the value in them and he wanted to protect this asset that he had.
And it was Brittany now. Think about it.
And she went in and she waved her hot girl summer flag and she was like, this is who I am. This is what I do. This. And it gave them the understanding of, you know what? Before I make any type of commitment, I would need to really think about if it's worth it or not. Short-term commitment, split-second decisions, I would need to consider if it's worth it or not because I can end up with a her. So why is it that a man can see value in something he considers to be an asset, which is we talking about a player. We're not talking about his son. We're not talking about his nephew. A player, which is valuable to him.
That coach.
But not deem relationships that we would potentially be in for life. Like as a man, put a potential forever relationship to be valuable enough to say, I need to take a step back and not only inform myself, but then maybe inform those around me, those that are under me, that, I see you as an asset. And because you're an asset, I want you to understand how valuable you are and how that value can decrease when you detach yourself to somebody that's unworthy of you.
So, in that situation, I feel like we think with the head down low versus the head up top.
The coach that's valuing his players?
No, the coach that valuing his players is Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
That's a specific.
I'm saying you're asking about him.
So I think that that's Deion being one of the best. I don't know if you know much about him.
Oh yeah.
Top 5 player all time. So I think that Deion Sanders also understanding himself. I don't know if you ever watched his draft video. You ever watched the draft video? He comes in with more necklaces than you probably seen in the DMC video.
Yeah.
Imagine he as a football player.
And he lets you he just comes like so.
I know y'all not finna act like
I'm just saying.
Hold down for the HBCUs and everything. I'm just trying to be.
So I think that Deion over his career being the flashy guy, has understood what comes with being Deion Sanders. And I think that he loves his players enough to invest into them in the sense of you're here not solely for football, but to learn about life.
So
he loves himself.
He loves his players enough to prepare them.
Yes.
I'm finna put you on blast. How many young men have you mentored about relationships?
Woo.
For real. Like you do about business. So
on that tip, I would say that I don't talk a lot about like my relationships. I'm very surface about that.
It's not helping.
But I just think that like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I failed like that situation, like that, I talk to him every person who I knew was like, hey, bro, like be aware, like this is narcissistic behavior. I didn't know what this was called, but like just check into it. I'm not a doctor by it, but like this is what I went through. Yes, I shared my experience in that, but as I'm dating or going through things, I'm not very vulnerable or open about it. I just never have been.
And Mike, how many young men have you helped to impart wisdom with respect to relationships?
With respect to relationships, I'm pretty young still. So
that's fine.
And you're married.
You can talk to your 16-year-old and you're married.
So
you
I'm
dated for 7 years before you got married. So that's a whole
commitment. That's the year of completion right there. Y'all completed that thing before y'all got married.
I'm gonna use that one. I was waiting 7 years to make sure it was complete.
Like y'all would have been like, sis, get out of that, huh?
No, we wouldn't have said nothing like that. We would have said, hold up, wait. So
back to the question.
Back to the question. Right. I'm sorry. Mike, go ahead.
Honestly, I am transparent, open book 100% of the time in all situations. If you ask me, I'll give you whatever I got. But I'm not a let me go express everything that I've learned to the world.
I'm finna get this. And that's what I'm getting everywhere. And this is the challenge that I have. Dion saw value in his players. They didn't ask him. He pushed.
He
pushed because he knew they needed it.
And
he pushed because there were lessons learned.
And they don't know what they don't know.
Bam.
How can I ask you something that I don't know? I'm unaware of. I'm unaware of it myself.
So I got one for y'all.
Hold up, because I ain't done.
Okay.
So it sounds to me like if it's about money, then we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Disagree.
I don't talk about money either.
Disagree.
Sir, you're the first generation wealth builder. You're the free rental property guy.
Can I tell you that? The only reason people know my numbers is because I teach it.
No, it's not about your numbers. It's about getting money.
It's about
building wealth.
You putting men in the space, putting people, not men, I'm sorry, because 50-50, putting people in the space where they are able to generate money.
Gotcha.
So when she said you talk about money, this is about building up first generation wealth builders.
I'm tracking now.
So money. You said no, so let me
I say I disagree because I often see people in a successful place in life, that people, financially successful place, they aren't really teaching what they've done to get there. But if you ask them, that's it. Like me personally, I'm in a lot of room with a lot of successful people. They don't just open up and say, this is how I became successful. I have to ask, I have to probe these questions as to how did you do this? How did you get there?
Yeah.
I knew Mike for 8 years, possibly. Yeah. But Mike probably learned like 100 times more about me in that 1 year.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
In the last year.
I don't talk. But see, if he's around, he's around.
Okay.
And so he's part of my day to day, at least once or twice a week last year.
2 points. I'm going to go with first. So then if we will share, I know you're saying in your rooms, you got to ask the question. I would say you might need to be in the room with us because we get information pushed to us. We won't have to just because you can't ask what you don't know. But I believe even if you look around, I can find 10 times as many male business coaches or male coaches or instructors who will help men and women to make more money than I can male relationship coaches, male marriage coaches, and things of that nature, right? So you see where I'm going with this? The men are pushing how to get more money, get money. Like they're pushing how to build wealth. And there's nothing against that. Provide and protect. I understand the role. However, if you all are putting your energy into financial building activities, money making activities, and it seems like it's anchored in the money, why are you so mad when the ladies look to you for the money? That's where you put your energy anyway. Why? What else am I supposed to be into you for?
I'm not mad at that, right?
You know what I'm talking about. We just want to get a nail done and everything.
The concept. I'm not mad when.
I'm interested in what
So
you're
I'm never upset when I'm never. If I know that you a gold digger, I'm not mad at you.
Well,
how you live.
No, why am I a gold digger?
I'm not. I'm like. I apologize. I'm not talking to you.
No, I'm saying why are you thinking
right,
that?
right.
There's women that you could just smell the rat.
But because you display that, they search for that, they look for that. Is that the point you're?
Yeah, but I don't carry myself to that. Like I don't think I carry myself.
Nigga, let me see your watch. Let me see your chains. Let me see your wrist. Did
he hide the chains?
Let me see your earrings. Let's see your shoes. Like you're not talking about.
Are you for the bro?
Where's your Rolex at? Like where your Rolex at, Mike? I just know this.
My bad. Wait a second. I'm on Eric's team here.
No. Let me. I got you, Mike. He said he's on the side of right. Okay,
Clarity.
Whoever is right, whatever is right.
Yes,
that's what side he's on.
It's their perception. You're not pushing it, but that's their perception of you, so they come seeking it.
Got you. So let's talk about it. When they come to me dating, at the end of the day, like
I'm gonna turn up.
I don't do nothing that I don't want to do. But when it comes to dating, I'm not one. I'm gonna initiate it. I'm gonna, do whatever. Hey, let's go out to eat. Let's go do whatever. But when I have like a filter, right? Based on your conversations, based on what I'm getting to know and what I'm peeping, right? And I understand when you bullshitting, but it sound good. Like, I'm gonna just back up. But if like I meet somebody and she's like, literally, it ain't gotta be about money, but like, hey, I was going on a walk, or I was going downtown to the canal, like pull up on me, like whatever, like little things like that. When you invest into the whatever we call it, right? That's the dating, then that's when I think that it's a little different. You once said to me, you would never date a man that made less than you.
No, I would not.
Okay, so again, that person could have that same mindset, but they could still invest. That's totally different than me taking care of like your whole life and your bills and everything. You know what I'm saying? Most men that pay for bills and all that type of shit, they want control. And most women that are of that nature that want to be taken care of, want to be a house mom, and that's not knocking every house mom, right? Because that role is like that takes work.
Yes, it does.
So, but some women come with underlining, they think because I got a Rolex, I'm gonna buy them one.
And we try to tell them that ain't true, but they definitely do think that.
You know what I'm saying? They think because I got, 3 points in my ears that they gonna get 3 points on their finger.
Right.
They think how it works for me is I have season tickets because I love basketball. Therefore, if I don't have my daughters, let's go. If you're free, let's go. If we are, you got chicks that do this, no exaggeration. I want to go. I want to take a trip. Where you want to go? I'm free. I'm down. I travel for free. But they'll be like, oh, let's go to Paris. I can show you the shit. That shit would be on pause. I won't even comment, like, or subscribe to this dumb shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, can you go to Paris by yourself? If the answer is no, then the potential of us going is going to be no. You know what I'm saying?
I do. And
so, counseling.
Yeah.
Men on that.
Yeah.
When we on the boat,
we
talk about them like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't use the word host. That's what I was facing.
Right.
We talk about that, but we still speak on it at a general surface level. Yes. I don't think that I specifically tell them the chick that asked about Paris 2 years ago.
And that you wouldn't need to tell your business in order to share wisdom.
So let's so for men, there's a very, very thin line between wisdom and messy.
Keep going.
Like, I ain't about to talk about who I'm dicking down and who not. Like, what type of nigga talk like that?
Right.
I feel that this type of conversation of coaching would require, when you offer it, would require a man to be talking about his moves. A nigga come on a boat or any situation like that, I'm down there just, you can ask Mike. People will come in the room and I just be like, don't mention this. It ain't even that because Mike knows things that He's around. You see what I'm saying? And he films me. So he's like, he has to know my goal. So like, but at the end of the day, like he speaks openly because he's actually a curious person. But I just have to be like, hey, I don't mind you being Mike, but like you can't do that with them because I just don't want. So again, though, when it comes to speaking of women, if a man came on the boat about what he doing and what he ain't or his experiences, I'm gonna be like, I'm not speaking because nigga, you're not about to be talking about to the next man about my business.
Right.
So I get your point, but I don't get your point from a male perspective and how the code works.
And so because of that code.
Is that fair, Mike?
Yes, from a man to man situation, I can see why we aren't just open with information because it wasn't asked for, and if you didn't ask for it, why am I giving it to you?
So he's married. I'm dating somebody I live with. I'm in his old position. I don't ask him about Sierra. I see Sierra. I see her on Instagram. I don't even follow Sierra because I wouldn't even want that man to think that I'm like, we cool. She see me. She's like, what's up? She might give me a hug. But I would never want him to even feel like I'm messy like that.
Right. But, and so we're not suggesting such.
Right.
No. But I'm just trying to tell you,
we're still on research.
Right. But even on my research of how he became a married man with his wife, I don't go into too much detail about what.
It's too specific.
Right.
Okay.
When you're coaching,
Now,
the challenge that we're having is you have women who are receiving, and I don't mean to be so stereotypical, but just for the sake of the conversation. If we look at women who are willing to gain external information in all topics, money making, purchasing property, and love, right? Romance and real estate. But you have men who are gaining insight on real estate, money making, starting businesses. But as it relates to romance, that's an inch too far. We don't need to be talking that person. That's too much. So then you all are allowing the men who come after you to continue to perpetuate the same challenges, the same mistakes, the same pitfalls, because we don't want to talk about that.
So I agree 100%. But I think that those guys that ever hang around or maybe on the boat, I think that they got to feel comfortable. And they might be like, so like, let's say for instance, I had a baby. I live with her. And then Farrad. I'm not gonna use his real name. Farrad come on the boat. He's successful. He's just sharing business. Cause like, he's one of the guys that actually got me into my next move. And so he's like, so you ready? Hey, he literally asked, did you get it out your system yet? All right. So like that is him, asking and doing that. So it does happen, but very
seldomly.
Yeah.
If we go back to Erica's example, Dion brought in a third party to help make a point because the players needed the wisdom and needed to understand the situation. When you keep speaking, you keep talking about like your personal business. And I don't want anyone to think that I'm advocating you going out telling your personal business.
Right.
What I am advocating or just asking about what I've noticed is there seems to be a resistance to pass along wisdom.
Right.
It isn't about who you bust down and all that. Don't nobody want to hear about all that. But the wisdom, like what are the lessons learned that are trickling down?
Pause though. You can't tell me some shit without telling me the story. It's almost like you telling me and you're not really like pre-phrasing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't just tell me, hey, don't do that. You need to know why. Well, why? Because when I did it, I didn't get a title, I could have lost this. Boom. Now that makes sense to that person.
But it doesn't have to be your business. Dion brought in Brittany.
Yes.
And I'm sure if it was a priority.
Boys ain't even thinking like that. Men ain't even thinking like that. That I hang around to bring in a third party. We think we all right. We don't. Our mirrors may not work.
I got counseling.
Michael's like, I do not agree. I have but even when she said wisdom, when we're talking about the details of, I don't need to know a name for you to be like, bruh, telling you been there, did that. And from the experience, not the person, not the place, not the thing, not what we did. It was just, it turned out to be a really type of this situation.
So for that, we do that. there's not a person in our circle, my circle, that wouldn't ever share that just like that. What I am trying to explain though is that that's not going to be given as she's insinuating that somebody's going to give and actually push upon us this game and this type of community and aura. No, it's going to be like, God damn it, y'all, I need another drink. Why? Such happened. Then you, him, are going to be like, bro, so this is what you got to do here. This is how you got to pivot. The advice is given after somebody's been vulnerable. And men are vulnerable on the boat, but that's when the conversation steers. It is never initiated with the purpose of, bro, y'all, we got to make sure that we are great men out here to these women. So this is what we going to do.
And see, that even sound cheesy when you say it. I don't like that.
I was like,
I don't appreciate it.
I was like, don't downplay it like that, boo. Don't do that.
So, and then it sounds like you're saying peer to peer almost, like same age group. And what?
No, he's 29. We all 40.
I mean, who? Still kind of.
No, me and my guys.
Oh, with the fathers and uncles. Right? Because you don't need to be 40 to learn this or 29. Like what I'm hearing, and if I'm understanding correctly, is we do research on properties. And we would tell a 14-year-old teen male if he was interested in property, yo, here's the play. This is what you want to do before you do that.
Here are the numbers.
Here's the numbers. Here's the indicators. Wait a minute. What are your indicators? Is it in a good neighborhood? Does it have a good school zone? But where is that with women, their interaction with women, their relationships, bruh, before you go out here now, I know they're telling you, I know your other uncle told you to bust down anything that's open. And I feel that. However, what are your indicators? What type of family does she come from? What are her spiritual beliefs? Has she had an STD before?
So
how often does she go to the doctor?
I've done that with my daughters.
Okay. That's a woman.
Alex and Melissa, I give them the damn
and you don't have sons, but do you understand?
No, I get that. So that's why I had to say my daughter.
Is that a foreign concept for men?
I think it's a foreign concept. I don't think it's a foreign concept in the family. I think it's a foreign concept amongst friends.
I'm going to say, I think where I'm disagreeing or have a difference in opinion is because I've had those conversations with my uncles. My pastor's like my best friend, my counselor. Like, we talk frequently. Amen. Like that's I don't go to church too often, but that's my guy. Okay. I would have those conversations with my son once they're of age. But I think what you're saying is publicly. Like, are you saying like why aren't more men pushing?
No, I'm saying why aren't we valuing research on relationships?
I think it's
the way that we value research.
I think we do. I think 100% we do. It's just not as vocal as the financial because of the interest. Women are more interested in the romance, the intimacy type thing. Men are more interested.
For example,
generally in my mind.
Wait, so that goes.
Want to go see the what's that book? That book that love book that everybody.
The Notebook.
The Notebook.
That book.
Like, you ain't gonna kill it.
Y'all took a different angle though. I'm not talking about romance and intimacy. I'm just talking about how to make a relationship work. Here's what you need to know. You can't talk to her the way you talk to your
So
homie.
we categorize that as love.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm sorry. I'm giving you a male perspective. I know that you're not seeing it the same, but we do that as
I need to go back. I need to go back to what Mike said. Mike said we're not doing it. We're not doing it publicly. Okay, get that. But what we're trying to say is how much value do you see in a relationship versus what you see in business? Because you'll get in a room with businessmen that you don't know, and will tell what your numbers were, what your statements look like, what's in your bank account. That's very private information.
fair.
Yeah.
And then you say, we don't do it publicly. And I'm thinking in my head, is that not of value to you to make that type of forward motion in that area? Because it seems like business is here and like relationship is like here.
Yeah.
And in our reality, it's the relationship that can really affect your business.
I have a question. If you use that same diagram, give your right hand being business, and then your left hand being relationships. All right. When we say relationships, though, we're talking about partner relationships.
I mean, you could limit it there, but it really goes into how to sustain relationships, period. But yes, in this here, we're going to talk about.
So I would say, how do you think a woman looks at it? Right hand being business, love being your left hand.
So
if I were
relationship
left hand, this is love. I feel like women look at it at this perspective in the sense of value, right? And I feel like they look at business like this. And I feel like it's counter for men.
Why do you think that?
Because of my perception of it. I'm not speaking for all men. It's just it's the macho thing. Maybe the like we don't talk like that.
I'm sorry. Let me clarify my question. Why do you think women value relationship more than they value business?
I feel that this might be an ignorant answer. I feel like more women pursue or are infatuated with the pursuit of love than on the other side. I think that men are more in the pursuit of being financially stable.
And again, left brain, right brain, we know that that's a fact just by the sides of the brain that most individuals come from. Men from one, women from the other. One's artistic, one's analytical. Men are from the analytical problem.
And I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just giving you my angle.
I'm confirming. Right. I'm saying you are right. I'm saying we could Google that and that would be a fact. That women are more nurturing, loving, artistic, flexible, and pessimistic. Men are more... I want to say pessimistic, negative is really how it's defined. And then men are more analytical, business, protective, long-term planning, things like that, right? Period. However, what the failure of relationships is impacting the bag. I see so many men who are suffering because they're not valuing even what we're talking about here. And implementing changes before they get with these women that don't pre-qualify them. But now you do long-term things with them and now you got long-term results. And if you hadn't done something, or if you just applied 2% of what we say, you might have come out better. And what I'm saying is, if you choose to go into a real estate transaction and you don't do your research, you understand you might endure some losses, right? That's what we said. So if you continue to choose to go into these relationships with women, no matter where your value system is related to it, understand that you're positioning yourself to take some losses. And just like we know in real estate, without research, there's things that we don't know, and therefore practices we're not putting in place. We're doing the same in relationships. We're only sabotaging ourselves because we won't sit down and get some additional insight. I know you said, you got your pastor, you got counselor, so that really doesn't particularly apply to you, but you are definitely the minority.
Yes.
So
average.
What'd you say?
Not average.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so by and large, we got the fellas, and I want to roll your eyes. I love to see men level it up, right? And it breaks my heart that we keep ignoring this silent killer right here. It's like a heart attack for y'all. Like, you're so focused on business, and we'll get in rooms and talk about the bag. What's the next play? How did you do it? I mean, break it down. But what we're not doing is talking about this real risky situation that we all get involved in when we only seeking the buns and we ain't worry about the benefits thereafter. But that's it.
And it took a coach to pull other people's sons and nephews to give them information that he knew they did not have, nor did they understand. Why don't we have this? Like, gold diggers aren't new, Eric. No. Hear this. Hear me out here. Okay. Gold diggers aren't new, right?
Not at all.
They've been around for a long time, right?
Yes.
How are males still falling prey to the same?
Even if you told them, even if you told them everything it is, like, they still gonna do what they want to do. So I understand what selling dope could do. I just didn't end up dead or in jail, but I ended up in a bad situation. At the end of the day, it happened to be a blessing for me, just because, like, it's the best day of my life. I switch everything up, but it doesn't typically work like that. I say this though. Deion Sanders is a mentor as a coach to them.
Yes.
And as I started when I began, I said that he is looking to improve them as individuals.
Yes.
Student athletes.
That's right.
that is totally different than his angle is totally different than being socially hanging out with the fellas and bringing this to the fellas. So more people in his position, in our position as a mentor, that'd be different if I brought that to my mentorship. And I'd just be like, man, I feel like, hey, I've lost bread messing with these. So I think that whether you like it or not, think that you need that. That's totally different element than when asked in my social peer group.
Right.
Because in my social peer group, that shit come across like gossip. I'm not fucking with that dude.
Right.
I agree. And I would say even from Dion's standpoint, when he did that, it wasn't coming from a relationship better yourself type of situation. It was still coming from a financial aspect, not more so as to make more, like we're teaching to make more, but to keep more.
Retain.
Yeah, but to retain more. So I think as a man, like you said, left brain, right brain, I'm gonna sound like a ass when I say this. Maybe it's y'all responsibility, women. Right? Y'all feel it's y'all responsibility to be caring and loving. So y'all reach and look for more information for relationships. We feel like we protect, we provide. We're on the other side of that brain. We feel like we protect, we provide. So we reach for more information on how to provide, to protect.
That's very fair.
That is very fair.
You know what I mean? Not saying it right, but that's just how I see understanding athletes. But understanding Dion is like, I'm a Dion fan, so I understood his perspective.
Shout out Dion Sanders.
Yeah. But like, I just feel like that's real hard coming into a male circle that we're all parallel as men.
Yeah.
But he's a coach, so they're looking at him for the guidance. I don't think that my guys come to the boat looking for my guidance. They look for great conversations to leave there with uplifted, good information, good fellowship. So
I think this is a great conversation for people to hear because I can guarantee there are many ladies who would have never known that what you all just shared about how men think.
I feel like we got set up, bro. Hey, check it out. We did. Check it out. Tell a friend to tell a friend, man. Tap in. You know what I mean? Romance and Real Estate on YouTube. Tap in. Man. So, if you didn't subscribe, like, or comment, make sure that you do. Give us some feedback. Let us know what you think. Like, what would you feel if your homeboy came to the boat on some, like, fellas? We really got to be more gentle with the ladies because we don't appreciate them.
We don't appreciate that.
Like, bro, he got to go.
We don't appreciate it. Don't spread that. Do not subscribe to that.
So, you know, like, hey, I'm just saying, I'm here for us. Yeah. So, again, tap in. We'll see y'all next week.
Hold on, real estate tip it up.
I do that every time. I'm not used to it.
It's okay.
All right, tip of the week.
I got it for you.
What's that?
Don't do a quick deed.
Man, that's real.
The tip of the week.
That's real. All right, so let's do this though. Let's talk. Let me give him a tip around that.
There you go.
All right, so the tip of the week this week would be more so when a seller has asked you to put down non-refundable earnest money.
Yes.
That is good.
So earnest money is typically given as you have a contract, and it's basically say, hey, I'm going to put this down towards the purchase of the home, and if I happen to back up out the deal for whatever reason, you get to keep this because you took the property off the market.
Right. Indicator of seriousness.
All right. Now, if he wants it, like, you know, guaranteed, like no refund, that means that he is aware of something that will cause you to reject it. And he wants you to overly commit because you have the financial responsibility that you just make a deposit. So never do non-refundable earnest money. All right. Secondly, when you go to a title company to close, if you are buying the property, use your own title company.
Yes.
Do not use their recommended title company because if he's asking you to do non-refundable money and he's asking you to use his preferred title company, you are going into a war and the referee is actually on his team.
Right.
So you want to go ahead and make sure that you use your own title company whenever you're moving forward on a deal like that.
Great wisdom.
We out of here, man. Peace.